I'm Roe and this is the Roe Report, around your world right now. A new government study shows that the number of pets with health insurance has increased by 56% since 2003. The study estimates that there are 2 million insured dogs and nearly 1 million insured cats. Of course, this does leave over 97% of the nation's pets without adequate healthcare coverage. People, I beg you, whatever you do, please don't tell the president. A new study finds that men are likelier to cheat if they make less money than their wives. The study also finds that men are likelier to cheat if they make more money than their wives. Possible reasons include opportunity, self-worth, and the fact that they're men.
'Cause the next time that he cheats, oh, you know it won't be on me.
A new report on New York City traffic patterns has been released, and there are some very interesting findings. According to the New York Department of Transportation, the most serious problems arise when men are behind the wheel who are trying to turn left. Did you hear that, Mr. President?
Hang on to the wheel, I think you're gonna crash.
Yesterday, we told you there was a compromise on the Ground Zero Mosque. Well, we stand corrected. The mosque's lead developer, Sharif El Gamal, tells New York One they're not budging on the location.
It is 2 blocks north of the World Trade Center site. We are nowhere near the World Trade Center site.
Wait, say that again?
We are nowhere near the World Trade Center site.
Sir, you need to make up your mind. You're either 2 blocks away from the World Trade Center, or you're nowhere near the World Trade Center. You can't be both. According to a new poll, 24% of Americans believe President Obama is a Muslim. Well, then again, 36% believe the U.S. government was complicit in 9/11, 38% believe the government is hiding aliens, and a whopping 40% believe the government assassinated JFK. And those are real numbers. So 24% is actually pretty good. Now you've heard it all, people. I'm Roe and this has been the Roe Report. I'm Roe and this is the Roe Report, around our world in 2 minutes. The U.S. government is about to hand out $2 billion for new solar plants the president says will create thousands of jobs and increase the use of renewable energy sources. Well, let's hope there's not an accident at one of these plants. Just imagine how long it'll take the government to clean up all that sunshine.
I'm walking on sunshine. Wow, it don't feel good.
Sexy Russian spy Anna Chapman is shopping her story. However, any payment would have to be under the table because an agreement between the U.S. and Russia bans spies from profiting from their work. Ms. Chapman has supposedly lined up a covert Swiss bank account where deposited money would be concealed from authorities. Now honestly, how good of a spy could Anna Chapman be if she's secretly selling her story, has a covert bank account, and I'm telling you about it? Lindsay Lohan surrenders to authorities in Southern California where she's sentenced to 90 days in jail. She's been remanded to the Linwood Detention Center where Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie, and Khloe Kardashian have all spent time. I know in LA the hottest spots are tough to get into, but in this case, the hottest spot is hard to get out of. Astronomers have used the Very Large Telescope, and that's really its name, to discover the biggest star ever. Star R136A1, classified as a hypergiant, is 10 million times brighter than the Sun and is the heaviest star ever discovered. Unless you count Marlon Brando.
You are a shooting star.
A man was arrested in the Mexico City airport after a security search revealed 18 monkeys hidden under his shirt and pants. Security officials first grew suspicious after noticing a large bulge in the man's groin area, forcing them to ask, is that a banana in your pocket? Or did the 18 monkeys already eat that?
Part man, part monkey, definitely.
Now you've heard it all, people. I'm Roe and this has been the Roe Report. I'm Roe Khan, and this is the Roe Report, around our world in 2 minutes. In Sarah Palin's new memoir, Going Rogue, she depicts the McCain campaign as overscripted, defeatist, disorganized, and dunderheaded. I'm curious, was this before or after she was on the ticket? In an interview with NBC's Meet the Press, Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton says she'd be happy to talk to Sarah Palin over a cup of coffee.
I would look forward to having a chance to actually get to meet her.
Boy, that sounded convincing. By the way, Madam Secretary, I think Mrs. Palin prefers tea parties.
Barracuda.
General Motors generated $3.3 billion last quarter and announced plans to start repaying government loans early. That's nice of them, but considering some of the cash was cash for clunkers, doesn't that mean that GM is repaying money that was a loan from the government with money that was a gift from the government? That makes sense only in Washington. The White House has announced President Barack Obama is getting ready to embark on a cross-country speaking tour to discuss economic recovery. Have fun, Mr. President. In many cities, you're going to be the only guy in the room with a job.
Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me.
A company in Beverly Hills is creating a line of antiquity fragrances based on the DNA of dead celebrities like Elvis Presley. I'm really hoping they mean the 1950s Elvis Presley, because if anybody wants to smell like the 1970s Elvis Presley, they'd smell like peanut butter, bananas, and Vicodin. And finally, it's official. Oprah Winfrey will discontinue her daily talk show in September of 2011. Well, I guess all the pressure from the Roe Report finally got to her.
Roe Khan, who's that?
Yeah, maybe not. And now you've heard it all, people. I'm Roe Khan, and this has been the Roe Report. I'm Roe Khan, and this is the Roe Report, around your world right now. It has been almost a decade since the attacks of September 11th. America has changed. The vigilant emotion of the days following the attacks has dwindled. America has been at war almost every day since with an enemy that hides in plain sight. She has also been at war with herself as we struggle with balancing our values against those who would use our very liberty as a weapon against us. A look back after this. It was a glorious morning in New York City, 8:46 a.m. 17 minutes later,
That looks like a second plane.
an attack on the Pentagon and United 93 still unaccounted for. The South Tower collapses, followed 20 minutes later by the North.
This has to be deliberate, folks.
In all, 2,993 people died on that day. 200 leapt to their death, avoiding the inferno burning at 2,000 degrees. More than 400 first responders who entered the building after the attack were lost. In the days and weeks following, the fire still burned. The gruesome odor of metal and carnage lingered, something that those who experienced it will never forget. A new president came to pay his respects
in prayer for the people
and promise vengeance.
and the people who knocked these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
Like so many other events in American life, this too has become politicized, often for our own entertainment.
It is impossible for a building to fall the way it fell without explosives being involved.
Blame, denial, and outright fabrication have replaced the horror we all felt as we watched the sapphire skies turn gray that Tuesday morning. This morning, America, put aside your politics, remember those who were lost, and pray for those in harm's way whose sacrifice is dedicated to the hope we never have another morning like it. I'm Roe Khan, and this has been the Roe Report.